Hey everyone, welcome to the Wealth Warriors. So today I want to talk about a word that we hear a lot, especially in faith communities, and that word is stewardship. Um, and for many, like the first thing that pops into mind is tithing, so giving 10% of our income. And yes, financial giving is definitely a part of it, and it's a beautiful and important part at that. But honestly, I think that we sometimes miss the forest for that one tree because the word stewardship is so much bigger. It's so much more encompassing than just like money in a collection plate. For me, biblical stewardship, it boils down to recognizing that everything in this life, the time, the abilities, the stuff, the relationships, the talents, the body, it isn't actually mine, right? It's all a gift from God. So the idea is to manage all of these resources in a way that brings Him glory and in turn also helps others. So it's really about being like a good and faithful manager of what He's entrusted to me and understanding that He's the ultimate owner and I'm just here to make the most out of what He's given. So you could think about it like this, like you might lease a car. So you don't own it, but you're absolutely responsible for its care, keeping up with the maintenance, driving it safely, making sure it stays in good shape, etc., etc. And that's a lot like how I see our relationship with what God's given us internally and externally. So we don't own it, but we're completely responsible for its careful use and upkeep. So if you think about it, so it's about our time. So how are we investing the precious hours that we've been given? Are we pouring it into things that truly matter? Are we building up ourselves and others? Or are we letting it slip away? Because every minute is a gift, right? It's also about our talents. So we all have very unique gifts, skills, abilities, and passions. And are we burying them or are we actively using them to serve, to create, to make a positive impact? Are we working to develop them? So it's kind of like whether it's the knack for connecting with people, if you have maybe a creative spark or a gift for problem solving, those are all resources that have been entrusted to us by God. It's about our relationships, the people in our lives, family, friends, colleagues, even strangers we encounter. And they're not just background characters, they are sacred trusts. So, how are we nurturing those connections? How are we showing up for others? And how are we speaking life into them? It's about like our health and our physical bodies because our bodies are temples, right? So, taking care of ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually, it's a profound act of stewardship. It impacts our energy, our capacity to serve, and our sort of overall quality of life, right? It's about our influence. So, in this very interconnected world, every single one of us has a sphere of influence, whether it's large or small. How are we using our voice, our platform, our example to uplift, to inspire, to contribute positively? So when we broaden our view of stewardship, it becomes less about an obligation and more about a profound responsibility. And really, it's a privilege. It's about wisely managing everything God has entrusted to us, not just our finances, but our entire lives for His glory and for the good of others. So it really kind of shifts your perspective from what do I have to give to what amazing gifts have I been given to use. And that, my friends, is a game changer for how we live, how we work, and how we impact the world around us. So, my question for you today is like, what does stewardship mean to you beyond the obvious? And have you been able to identify any of the gifts that God's blessed you with to give? And I love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. So make sure to leave a comment and have a really good day. God bless you. Bye.